This is Jamey with Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in Caravan, a somewhat abstract, or I would say very abstract game about delivering cubes to places on a board. That's basically what you're doing. You're using these camels to deliver cubes to various places on this little board here. So if you have a blue cube, you are trying to deliver it to this blue area. If you have a red cube, you're trying to deliver it here. Now, this game has a really interesting twist. There are a few things that I really like about it, but the main thing goes along with this twist that I enjoy. And that twist is, and I made a mistake in this game that I'll tell you a little bit in a little bit if you want to stay for the story, but you can't move your camels, or at least you can't move a camel that has a cube on it. And so, for example, the green player here has a cube on this green camel, and she is trying to get that cube over here to this blue space. Instead of moving this camel with the cube, as you might do in real life if a camel is carrying something, instead, this camel passes this cube along this path of camels with a single action. You have limited actions you can take each turn, but with a single action, you can pass this cube all the way over to this camel, and then you need to move one of your other camels into this space and do the final delivery. And so there's a pretty big distance here that this cube is trying to make it all the way over here. But the key is that you have this line of camels that you've lined up so that you can use a single action to pass that cube as far as possible towards the place where you need to deliver it. So you pick up that cube, and then you use camels in a line to deliver it. The thing is, like, this sounds simple, and it is a simple mechanism, but the thing that I really like about it is that you're constantly trying to optimize the cubes that you're picking up and when you pick them up and which color of cubes you're picking up and the position of your camels, because you want to move your camels as little as possible because that takes an action. And so ideally, this player would pass this cube over to this camel and then in some way, find a way, see like there's like a white cube here, find another way to get another blue cube, ideally a blue cube, but it could be another cube as well. Get it into this supply chain of camels so that it's easy to deliver the next cube. So for example, this player's next move after delivering that blue cube here might be to move this camel over here, use an action to pick up this white cube, and then get that cube maybe not necessarily back onto this, you can only have one cube per camel, but back in this chain of camels so that cube can then be delivered here without having to move this camel and that camel if possible. And so there's this optimization puzzle of using camels as efficiently as possible to move these cubes along the lines as you try to score points, because you get points when you deliver the cubes to these various spaces. The other thing that you have to calculate as you're doing this is that at certain times there will be coins. And whenever you pick up a cube where there are coins, I know it's really hard to see there, you get the coin as well. And the coin is 1 point at the end of the game. And so there are times where these coins will pile up because whenever you refresh the cubes on the board, you put a coin wherever the cubes are going. And so there might be piles of 3 or 4 coins sometimes, and you need to go or you don't need to, but you are tempted to go and pick up those coins or pick up the cube and get the coins as well so that you get those extra points. I'm describing this very, very poorly, I know. But it just adds to a really nice piece of that puzzle because all your camels might be over here and there are 4 coins down here. And so you might want to find a way to get those coins and somehow add them to your camel supply chain. The little story I wanted to mention is that when I learned this game, at the beginning of the game, I did not know, or I did not listen to the rule that you can't move a camel with a cube on it. And so my first few actions were to put camels in each of the 4 corners of the board, and I used 2 of them to pick up cubes and some coins. And then, and only then, did I realize that I had just spread out all my camels, and this is not a game where you want to spread out your camels. You want them to be close together. And yet I was still able to have a ton of fun because I took that terrible start and almost won the game after really optimizing a number of these paths and grabbing coins whenever it was possible. So it felt really good to have such a poor start, and it made me appreciate the game because it kind of said to me that the beginning of the game is a little forgiving, and it gives players a chance to learn some of the actions, learn how the game works before they really get into the meat of the game and still give them a chance, because I still did have a chance to win even after that terrible start. So for all those reasons, I really did enjoy Caravan, and I really did like that optimization puzzle that was happening with the cubes and lining up camels along the way. So if you could think of anything like this, especially games with like supply chains where you're trying to manipulate how certain things are moving through a supply chain, Kanban comes to mind, even though it's much less abstract than this. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Or if you've played Caravan and want to talk about it in the comments below, I'd love to hear that as well. Or if even you have a story of a game where you had a terrible start because maybe of a rules misunderstanding and you still ended up having a ton of fun and were competitive in the game, hey, share that story in the comments below as well. Thanks.